Me now, attorney and political analyst Gail Trotter and chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp. Matt, let me start with you.
Sure.
Are we going to start seeing journalists being bumped off? What was she talking about?
Well, it's actually not a laughing matter, and I do think Vladimir Putin has done some things that I find abhorrent. But why are we comparing him to Donald Trump? I mean, that's just absurd. The fact is this, which is poll after poll after poll shows that reporters by 70, 80% tend to vote for the liberal candidates, tend to vote for Democrats. We all know that most members of the media are left-wing. This is just a fact. Yeah, and I think what the Trump administration would like is just a little balanced coverage, and I don't blame them.
Gail, but this does seem to be a little bit of rope-a-dope. In other words, he goes out there, the president goes out there, and says the media is doing this wrong, the media is doing that wrong, and the media reacts every single time. And whatever else is going on, they report on themselves and their hatred or their animosity towards President Trump.
That's right. You think at some point he's trolling the media, because it is absolutely the Trump administration's responsibility to call out left-wing journalists who are not doing the job of objective journalistic reporting that they're supposed to be doing. There's been story after story after story that has been misrepresented and that is false. Just think of the report about Nancy Sinatra saying that she was complaining that Donald Trump and the First Lady were going to dance to her father's song at the inauguration. Who reported that? CNN. And you might think, well, why is it important that fake news is called out? It's because it's an all-out assault on the truth by these mainstream media outlets.
Matt, listen, let's go back in time. Get your history book out. I remember that. I'm old enough to remember it. But there was a hatred of Richard Nixon by the media. They were out to get him. He finally made a major mistake, and they got him all right. This seems very similar in that Nixon did not like the media didn't like Nixon. Is this the same sort of thing we're seeing now?
You know, I give Donald Trump great credit for the fact that he calls it like it is, and that's one of the reasons why he won the Republican nomination and a big reason why he's president. And I think we all know that the media tends to be left-wing, and he calls them out on it. Now, he hasn't been right on everything he said, and of course the media will always draw attention to that, but the fact the underlying charge that the media is trying to discredit him as a legitimate president is absolutely correct, and Donald Trump is right to push back on it. And I think there's a lot of us around the country who are rooting him on in this fight.
Tell me, listen, Gail, this buzz about leaks coming out of the White House, and the question is, where are they coming from? Is there an attack from the bureaucrats? Forget the media. The bureaucrats sitting there that maybe don't like Donald Trump. Are they the ones leaking? What's the buzz in Washington?
Right. Well, leaks are nothing new in Washington, but certainly we've seen a greater tsunami of leaks at a very earlier stage than we necessarily would have seen in other administrations. And it shows that we have a lot of protections for federal workers in the federal government right now, but we need to reconsider those rules, because if these leaks are happening and they're violating federal law, then maybe some of those protections should be rolled back, because otherwise we are not fulfilling the will of the people who elected Donald Trump to come to Washington and do something.
Well, look, there are too many leaks, I believe, coming out of the White House and out of the White House team. I do think I would urge them all, they got to work as a team against the left. And I urge Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, who voted against Betsy DeVos, to wake up and realize we have got to fight the left. This fighting each other isn't going to get us anywhere.
No, it's not, and yet it does. Again, like I said, it seems as though this is going to, they're digging their heels in for a long fight. This isn't something that they're going to kiss and make up over in a matter of days, at least not from where I see it. How about you, Gail?
Well, the 11th commandment of Ronald Reagan, that we should not insult fellow Republicans, might be the hardest of all of the commandments.
Yeah, that's
but certainly Matt is right that we need to come together.
Gail Trotter, Matt, thank you both very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks.